Wow, it's very beautiful.
It's a globe. Try to think about it. Isn't today independence?
It's true. Why this?
Why should we celebrate independence?
Why not?
Our education system is in chains. We can't divorce education from growth and development of a nation. Today, we are celebrating our independence, yet our educational system, which is the foremost agent of national transformation, is in chains and behind lock. This is a paradox, celebrating freedom while bound in chains.
That's why I said education is a scam. Education in Nigeria is in chains, incessant strikes, poor enumeration of teachers, brain drain.
Yes, I agree with you. Education is a scam in Nigeria. The Nigerian policy on education has gone through many stages to the extent of policy incoherence, which has negatively affected the success of the policy. And there has been a significant decline on the standard of education, and all stakeholders have contributed variously on this decline.
I don't totally believe that education is a scam in Nigeria. I believe that it's just a misplacement of priorities.
I totally agree with you. Let's take Singapore as an example. Singapore is a country colonized by the British, just like Nigeria, and they even gained their independence in 1965. That was 5 years after Nigeria. Yet, Singapore is an education superpower, ranking near the top of all international comparison. It is found that 97% of all of Singapore's students continue their education after the age of 18.
How did they achieve this?
This has been achieved through a structured, centralized approach, national prescribed curriculum, and uniform classroom teaching and practices. Did you know when the British withdrew Singapore's status as a British colony, the country was so poor that no other nation would claim the territory, but yet, only 40 years later, Singapore ranks first in all international examinations, and her country's people speak English as though it was their country's first language.
But that is in Singapore. In Nigeria, education, rather than being a tool of effective national development, has turned out to be a tool of destruction. Yes, we are marking 62 years of independence, but we have had 16 ASUU strikes since 1999, over the past 23 years. As it stands, we are undergoing an ASUU strike.
But there are glaring fundamentals of education in national development.
Yes, education can be used as an instrument of social change. It is proved that a country's development is primarily based on its people and its resources. However, it ultimately depends on the people only as to what extent they can use the scarce resources efficiently in order to achieve a rapid rate of development and breakthrough innovation. As people play the most important role in shaping a country, education is responsible for shaping a person.
Education is also an instrument of personal development. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is one of the most powerful weapons used to change the world. Countries today compete in literacy rates, which ultimately leads to high economic growth and development. Education has great potential to change the world. When a society is educated, there is great allocative and productive efficiency, which leads to rapid rates of development.
Education increases the propensity for better employment opportunities. Not only does education make a smart, informed population, but it increases the economic growth and boosts the GDP of the country.
Actually, the GDP of a country is one of the KPIs that is used to measure the economy of a country. Take a look at countries like Japan, America, Germany, China. You can't tell me it does not have a link with the heavy investment on science, research, and technology.
Yes, GDP is worth mentioning. GDP matters because it shows how healthy the economy is. Rising GDP means the economy, the goods and services, the wages and profits are increasing. Education drives every economy. Investment in it is what Nigeria should focus on and make top priority. It will affect every area of the nation, from leadership to developing the common man on the street, and we are all better for it.
So what's the solution to this quagmire?
Well, we can look at Singapore once more, because in the 50s and the 60s, when Singapore embarked on a journey to develop its own economy, do you know what they did?
No.
Well, they adopted a survival-driven educational system in order to provide a skilled workforce for their industrialization program and to crop unemployment, which Nigeria still struggles with. This goes to show that education is an economic necessity and was more than necessary to build this country we all know and celebrate, Singapore.
Today, countries face various issues including terrorism, banditry, global warming, poverty, discrimination, and gender inequality. Proper education for everyone can eradicate these problems from their roots and would lead to a better country. It is an investment which is crucial for the development of every being. Education has the ability to transform a person and provides perspective to see their life in a different view.
Education should not be taken away from anyone because education will always help and reap benefits. Education is the most important step in the development of a country, and we all should do our possible best to take it to the next level.
I think our leaders should rearrange their priorities and all stakeholders should be honest and invest in education.
Finishing any degree, whether it is a high school degree or higher education, is an accomplishment. Graduating gives students a huge sense of accomplishment and the confidence they need to go into the world and make something out of themselves. Until we, the students of Hope High British International School, are confident that we can graduate at the expected time without interruption by striking lecturers, our educational system is still in chains and needs to be set free.